Recording. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to IQ session number 24, maybe? Something along those lines. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're here and we're ready to rumble. So thank you guys so much for joining us, whether you're joining us live or watching this later. Tonight's topic is called, Is Motivation a Myth? Now, the reason why you should be watching this is if you've ever had the thought pattern of, I've lost motivation, or I'm just not motivated to get up and go for a run, or I'm just, any one of those kind of variations, this is a perfect one for you. So we're talking about motivation as a myth. And we hear this a lot. We hear, I've just got no motivation at the moment, or pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? That's it. And so what is motivation? Well, first of all, the dictionary meaning of motivation is motivation is the reasons for acting or behaving a certain way. It also it's the experience of desire. That's what motivation is, the experience of desire, especially when we're talking more so around a health and fitness journey and achieving goals and things like that too. So that's kind of more so what we're going to focus on tonight. We're in the fitness industry. Duh. Anyway, good one, Sheridan. Shake it off, get into it. So quite often we do hear people say that they have lost motivation. But motivation when it comes to health and fitness is kind of a myth. People, I'm speculating here, but this is kind of what I see, and we see it a lot, is that I feel like people look at motivation like this Instagram lifestyle, like motivation to get, your dream body. Let's say you want to be a size 8 or whatever it might be, and they think that people that have that, they wake up every day and they're fully motivated and they're hitting their numbers and they're doing all their workouts and they never miss a beat. They've just got life sorted, because that's what Instagram looks like. However, motivation in that sense is 100% a myth. So if that's what you're looking for to get your goals, I'm just going to break it for you now. That's not reality, and you're going to be sorely disappointed because if you're chasing that, it just ain't going to happen, because that ain't real. So in that sense, motivation is a myth, yes, because you're looking at that as being the be all and end all. You're looking at that as being the silver bullet, but it's not the case. Sorry, just referring to my notes. All right, here's what motivation is. This is really important that you understand this. Motivation is the spark. So it's like it's the match. It's what starts you. However, a spark isn't a bushfire. A spark isn't a fire at all. A spark is literally that. Unless it's caught, it dies. So a spark's job is literally instantaneous. It either lights or it dies, depending on how you catch it. And if the spark catches a piece of paper, it can turn into a raging bushfire. Or if a spark touches nothing, then it literally does that. It is just a spark and it dies. And this is what we need to get across with when it comes to a health and fitness journey, is that you can't expect motivation to be there burning underneath the entire time, because motivation is a spark, it's not a fire. And people are looking at motivation to be the fire, but it's just not reality. And we need to understand that it's not. Fair call?
Yep. That's a great analogy, the spark and the match.
Thank you. Tick for Sheridan.
I like it. Good one.
So it really comes down to your desire, because remember, motivation comes down to desire. And do you actually want a different result to what your current reality is? Because the spark can light or it can die. It depends on your desire to change, because it'd be stupid of you to think that you can do exactly the same thing consistently and get a different result each time. Wouldn't it? But we do it, don't we? So because you can't get a different result from doing the same damn thing every bloody time. And that would be foolish to think you can. Thomas Edison, we're taking it back to the 1800s. Thomas Edison is the genius that invented the light bulb. Now, it's said that he came up with over 3,000 designs for this light bulb. Over 3,000 times he tried to create the light bulb. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and this is 100% fact. He didn't try the same thing. He didn't try the same thing 3,000 times. He made alterations. He tweaked things. He did things a little bit different. He adjusted 3,000 times to then, bam, we've got light bulbs today. But he didn't do the same damn thing every time expecting a different result. And that's what happens quite often when it comes to a fitness journey, is that we think that motivation is going to be there every single day, every single minute. And then we're expecting to be able to live the exact same life and not change a damn thing and get a totally different result. Like if you sit on the couch and eat KFC every night and you don't exercise, you can't really expect to have a different body than what you've currently got now, unless you're looking at packing on the kilos, not necessarily dropping the kilos. So you need to, for things to change, you must change.
Yeah, hitting it.
Thank you.
I like it.
This is good, eh? I've got some good gold nuggets tonight. Now, you can't just change for a day. You can't just change for a week. That ain't going to happen. It may get you a short-term fix, but unless you consistently change and consistently keep up those changes, then that's when real change happens. So what is the answer? Is motivation a myth? In this case, yes, because we look at it as being more than what it actually is, more than just a spark. We look at it as being a fire. But what the answer you're looking for is habits. So motivation will get you started, but habits will keep you going. Because all too often we hear people say, oh, I've just got no discipline. Oh, I'm not motivated. I can't do this. But the thing is that discipline doesn't even have to play a part if you've got habits. Now, what's the definition of a habit?
Yeah, it's on my phone. 2 seconds.
One job, Matt. One job, mate.
More than one job. All right, here we go. The definition of a habit is a settled or regular tendency of practice, especially one that is hard to give up. And so that's the whole purpose of this, is that motivation is a spark. It gets you excited, and that's what we love. But most people, like Sharon was saying, try to run the motivation the whole way through a journey to get to the end result. But that's impossible. Like Sharon said, it's only the spark. It's the initial excitement. It's the fun. It's like, yes, I'm going to make a change in my life. That's all motivation is. It's an idea. It's exciting. It's a desire. It's a desire and all those sorts of things. But reality is, until you form a habit towards your goal, towards that end result, motivation short-lived. And
because it takes over discipline as well, because discipline is just a muscle, and that can falter too. And it comes down to things like brushing your teeth. It's a habit. You don't wake up and go, yes, I get to brush my teeth twice today. Woohoo! It'd be awesome if you did, but I can guarantee it's probably not the case 9 times out of 10 at least. But you do it because it's habit, because you've brushed your teeth at least in the morning.
And you'll have those times when you go, oh, I haven't brushed my teeth. I need to brush my teeth. And you still go and do it. That's the habit kicking in. It's not you don't need motivation to do it. You just habit has formed for so many times, repetition over such a long period of time. You just do the brushing of the teeth because that little bit of effort makes the visits to the dentist less. So it's way better.
Exactly. Save yourself thousands, people. So really it comes down to the fact is, to get you the answers for tonight's question, is motivation a myth? What we need to look at is to progress forward, and so that you can continue achieving your goals and continue in the right direction towards where you want to be, especially coming off this 8-week challenge. You've had such incredible progress. How do you maintain that when motivation dies because there's no challenge at the moment keeping you in the groove? And it comes down to forming habits. And how do you form new habits? What we need to do is we need to look at the end result first.
Yep.
So what is your goal? Because if you don't know that, we can't help you form the right habits. We can't help you with motivation. We can't help you with anything like that. You need to come up with the idea of what is the end result. What do you want to look like? What do you want to feel like? Is it a size 8? Is that what you're desperate to do? Is it to run a sub 20-minute 5K, whatever it might be. But we're looking at like weight loss and fat loss at the moment is probably the most relevant thing for us to kind of associate this to. So if it's, let's say you want to be a size 8 and that's your end result, well, then we need to think about that and we need to have massive desire for that. So we need that spark to start. We need that motivation to be there initially, otherwise nothing will happen. It's like if you have gas hot plates, you turn the knob and a spark comes, then it catches a light. But the spark doesn't stay there the whole time that the hot plate is on, does it? It's a tick, 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 and then it's gone because it ignites. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same kind of thing. And so we need to look at what is the end result. And we're going to start at the end to work our way back so that you can work out what you need to do to be where you want to be. What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? How, get emotional about this. This really comes back to goal setting again. And you got to have that end result as clear as possible. The more descriptive, the better. Mm. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Then you want to look at what stopped you in the past. Now, these things here, for to go a little bit deeper than our goal setting chat that we did, what stopped you in the past will help you look at the self-sabotaging habits that you have in place currently. So what stopped you in the past is when your old habits have taken over, because remember, the definition of a habit is something that happens easily, was it? It was, yeah, something along those lines. So they're those habits that come in and they sabotage you to implementing your new habits, to getting your new result. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. Feel free to chime in at any point.
You're on a roll. I'm not going to stop the ball rolling.
Thank you. So first of all, acknowledging those is a really important step so that you know to be able to acknowledge them and to identify them so that when they happen, that you can nip them in the butt and you can cut it out. It's like gardening. If you identify weeds, if you know what a weed is, then you can identify it and you can rip it out. If you have no idea, you ain't going to know. Your garden gets overthrown by weeds. I'm nailing the what are they called? Analogies. Oh, okay. Analogies. No, thank you. You can congratulate me later, guys. So what you need to do is you need to play a game of pretend. So put yourself in the shoes of, you've got that goal. Let's say you want to be a healthy, fit and strong, a size 8 female. This is for the ladies. Sorry, sorry, gents. I'm going to be a little bit more specific here. Put yourself in the shoes of a healthy, fit and strong size 8 female, and what would be the daily habits that she would have? Would she be hydrated? Would she eat delicious but nutritious food? Would she have some sometime treat but not all the time treats? Would she exercise regularly? Those kind of things. You need to look at the habits of what that person would do. And you got to play pretend until it's habitual for you, until you're living that reality. Pretend, let your imagination run wild and really go to town on that.
Yep. And what you'll find is when you do that, when you put yourself into that person that you want to be, or that body shape or whatever it is, and you look at all their habits that they do to achieve their body, because that's what we're doing, we're visualizing that side of it, and you'll see a list forms and there'll be all these habits. You're like, whoa, that's a big list. And it is a big list because over their life, they've built the habits up. So for them, it's easy. For you, maybe not so much. So this is where it comes down to one of our fundamental rules we use at FBFM all the time. We only ever change one variable at a time. You never change 2. Because if you change 2, you got too much change. People freak out. They chuck them both away and they go way back on the other side of where they were. Yeah. But if you change one thing, and focus on that one thing until it becomes habitual in your life. And the reason you know if it's not is because when you miss it or you stuff it up and you're angry at yourself for missing, say, the workout or whatever it is, say if that's your focus for this one here, I'm not going to miss my workouts. I'm going to make sure exercise is ingrained in me so that I am just loving life. You go. The moment you miss one and you are upset at yourself for missing it, that's a habit. Because you're there, it's ingrained in you and you're disappointed in yourself. Or
it gets to like 11:30 at night, you're tired and stuff, but you do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's a habit, making it happen. Now, when you are pretending to be the end result that you want, it does create quite a big list, and it can be daunting and overwhelming for sure. But first of all, we need to remember, for things to change, you must change. Because if you were to keep doing what you're currently doing, you cannot expect a different result. You have to change. But like Matt said, we've got to change one thing, one variable at a time. And let's start off with the lowest hanging fruit. What's the easiest thing that you can implement? So you might have exercise pretty much there, but maybe you need to step it up a little bit. Maybe there needs to be a little bit more intensity or a little bit more consistent, whatever it might be. Let's start off with that. Once that is habit, like we just said, it's 11:30 at night, you're tired, but you do it anyway. That's a habit. Once that's habits formed, then you can then start looking at implementing another variable, because we need to chalk some wins. Winning is where it helps kind of cement and build that muscle for these new formed habits. Yeah. And like the 8-week challenge that we just did, we attacked one variable at a time. A lot of you already had exercise down pat. We may have just tweaked it slightly, but then we just looked at the numbers. The numbers was the big focus for this challenge. We looked at that. And then once that was habitual, then we looked at, adding in the macros and going a little bit of a step further. So that's what it's all about, is just starting off with the lowest hanging fruit and then making small changes consistently. Because remember, for things to change, you must change. You can't expect a different result from doing the same damn thing.
And the cool part is when you do a habit for so long, say my focus is water, say I don't drink enough water, and I'm like, I'm going to focus on water. My goal is blah, blah, blah. And I start pushing and I do my water. And all of a sudden, it's in me. I don't miss it. I'm disappointed. I know when I haven't had enough water, and I quickly top it up and all that sort of stuff there. What happens is you start a new habit, and that gives you that little bit of a spark again. So you get a bit more motivation. Oh, I've nailed the water. It's time to win at something different. Then it might be, okay, I'm going to try and make sure that I at least get 2 pieces of fruit in my food each day. Just a daily fruit. Already doing the water. Don't have to worry about that anymore because it's just in me. It's who I am. I love it. And then the next one might be, I might add fruit. And then I keep doing that because I see the value in fruit. But if I don't like fruit, of course, I don't have to do that. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to do that. So, and then I focus on the fruit because I don't have to focus on water. By the end of the fruit deal, I'm now doing fruit and water, and they're habitual to me. I'm exercising. All of a sudden, I'm making better choices, super easy, focusing on the one variable at a time.
And that's when it becomes easy, because if you were to change like 7 things at once, that's a lot of mental capacity that you've got to think about every day. Oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. Think about it when you've got a to-do list at home. If it's huge, you kind of can get a little overwhelmed. However, if you've got like one thing on your list, done, easy. So once it's habitual, then you can add a new one in because it doesn't take up mental capacity.
Yes. And then you just stack them. You just keep doing a new one. And so what you have to be prepared for, though, this is probably the kicker, is that most people want their end result like now. We live in such a microwave society where we want everything on a dime. You know, we put something in the microwave for 60 seconds. We're angry it's taking 60 seconds. Like,
that is the longest 60 seconds ever when you're waiting for something to come out of the microwave.
It's taking so long. You know, I just want it now. We're so impatient and we want everything now because we can jump online and order something and it be here and we don't even have to leave the house. We can change the channel from our seat. We can do all these things that don't require us to do anything. So we're very, very impatient people. And so what we need to start doing is stop that and then expect that it's going to take time, and habits take time. There's no set day. I could make it up and say it takes 32 days and you'll have a habit formed. That's rubbish. Everybody's different. Everyone's got their own challenges.
And change is instant. That's the biggest thing here, is that change is instant and you can make these things happen. But I think so many people look at motivation as giving you juice all the time. But the thing is we need to rely upon habits, because quite often you're not going to feel like doing this stuff. It's just like, you know, I guarantee you're not excited to brush your teeth every day, but you do it just because it's habit, it's habitual. And these are what gets you to have that. Brushing your teeth twice a day gets you to have pearly white teeth. You know, you can't not brush your teeth and then expect pearly white teeth unless you go and pay, you know, quite a bit of money to get your teeth whitened every now and then, but keeping it there. So I think the biggest mistake we make, first of all, is that thinking that motivation is going to be there every minute of every day, and you're going to be excited to do everything you need to do to achieve your result. So first of all, we want to abolish that myth, because that is so not true, and that's just not reality.
But you have to remember there is a place for motivation in your life, and that's there for you. So sometimes it can just be a song that motivates you to go and do something. That's fantastic, because it has given you the spark to go and make a change, to do something better for you. So there's a place for motivation, but motivation will not see it through with you the whole time. It will wear out pretty quick. And
celebrating those little wins encourages more motivation too. It encourages the spark to be there more regularly. But again, you can't expect the motivation to be burning there the whole time, every minute of every day, because it's just not reality. Remember, motivation is a spark. It's not a fire.
Because health and fitness is not sexy. The journey is not sexy. It is huffy, puffy, sweaty. It's calculated. It's boring. But Instagram shows you that it's amazing. It's like this. And that's the problem is we're showing the end result. And that's why people get frustrated. How come she can do that or he can do that and I can't? How come they look like that and I don't? And we start doing this.
How come she looks like that yet she eats that? It's because she's only shown you one thing that she's eaten. She might not have shown you that she hasn't eaten all of it.
Yeah.
And she hasn't shown you what she's done, every other minute of every other day as well, like that. So you got to remember, we can't see things better than it is. We can't see things worse than they are. We need to see them as they are.
Yeah.
Not better, not worse, but as they are.
That's it. Dude.
Deep, real deep. That's pretty much all I've got for you, is that motivation, it is a myth because of the way we perceive motivation to be. To encourage more motivation, you need to celebrate the wins. For things to change, you must change, and you can't expect a different reality without changing something, without changing you, without changing your approach. The Thomas Edison approach there, 3,000 different times, 3,000 times he tried, over 3,000 times he tried to create the light bulb, and then he got it. But again, he didn't try the same bloody thing 3,000 times. He made adjustments, he made tweaks. And it's doing things like this, coming to IQ sessions, learning a little bit more, gaining a little bit more understanding, putting that into action. And that's why we do these once a week, because if we did them every day, it'd probably be a little bit of overload. And it's like trying to change too many habits all at once as well. And you got to set yourself up for success, but you got to start from the end result, work your way back, pretend to be in that result. What would that person do? What would a healthy, fit and strong person do? Would they wake up at 6:30 for boot camp, or would they snooze 4 times? Your choice. Totally up to you. It's your reality here. It's your pretend world as well. So whatever you perceive as doing that. But remember, pick the low-hanging fruit first. Celebrate the wins. Once it's habit, then move on and add something else in, because habit gets you through. Motivation and discipline will not be there every minute of every day.
And we all have a self-sabotaging habit in our life. It's whether it's reaching for the chocolate, whether it's grabbing a cigarette, whether it's something like that. There's something we all do. We all have it. And you've got to catch yourself in that habit and replace that habit.
And when you do, celebrate. Go, yes, I did that.
Yes.
Or I didn't do that. Whatever the celebration is.
Yeah. So you want to catch it like that, and we'll get someone to catch you. So I'm going to use an example. Sheridan won't like this, but Sheridan has a tendency to pick her face. And so she's given me permission to catch her, and then I can reprimand her by putting gloves on her hands and tape the gloves up so that she can't physically touch her face. So she's given me permission. I came up with the consequence because she asked me to be a part of it, to help her break her habit, because a habit is, for whatever reason, she feels she has to pick. And I'm only using that because it's a really easy example to go with. And the reality is she's included me in helping her break her habit that she made. She knows that I never said anything. That was her deal. She's just included me to help her. So you don't have to do this on your own if you're willing to bring someone with you. A partner's great for that. A friend's great for that. All those sorts of things.
And even if you don't have the accountability buddy like that, when you do celebrate with someone else. Like, you might be in the studio and go, hey, Sheridan, I drank 3 liters of water today like I wanted to. We're going to celebrate. I'm not a part of that journey. However, I'm here to help celebrate you.
I didn't drink Coke this week. I had green tea.
And and choose anyone that's in the vicinity. Walking to the kitchen and you see your daughter go, hey, high five me. I just did this. Yes. Celebrate you. And that'll also help spark motivation and celebration in them too. So they can see how good winning is. And get addicted to winning, guys. Get addicted.
Yeah. We're done, eh?
The end. I'm going to open it up for questions. Does anyone have any questions, my friends?
You can type, or you can unmute it. Right?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm going to allow. No, they can allow themselves to unmute. Do you guys have any questions, please? If you've got any questions, throw them our way. You can unmute yourself, or you can get on the typey types, whatever it is that you. Yeah, I'm down with the 411. I got this. A little bit excited about this topic, I think, because I've actually been allowed to speak tonight, because old mate over here usually gets a little chatty, as we all know. Mr. McChatty. So at times a lot. No questions?
No.
Unbelievable.
Even better.
Someone might say that we attacked every angle of this. I hope that resonates with you guys, and I hope you stop looking for motivation, and I hope you stop relying upon motivation to be more than what it is.
And stop saying, I lack motivation. That's the first thing. Change your language, change your outcome.
Because if you do,
the first place to start.
We'll slap you. Yeah, the harsh realities. Well, my friends, if there is no questions, as always, feel free to message us later or give us a buzz or anything that if you have any more further questions on it. But again, we just want to thank you guys for investing time into IQ sessions are designed to help grow you. We're called Fit Body, Fit Mind for a reason, because it's more than just about, sexy muscles and being lean and toned and terrific. And it's about the mindset shift, because once you shift that mindset, so much more can happen. So we just really want to honor you guys and thank you for investing the time into this, into developing you. It's so important, so healthy for us all to do this. And I encourage more of it. But thank you guys for giving up your Thursday evening with us. Feel free to share it and get other people on board to listen. We love you. Over and out. Done. Look at that. Mwah.
Thanks, legends.
Thank you guys so much.